Hi guys, it's Gav here from dartsplanet.tv, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing with Joe again day 2 of the 2018 Betvictor World Match Play, which is on Sunday, July the 22nd. There's 2 sessions. The first one, the afternoon session, starts at 1 PM. It's live on Sky Sports, and you can see the matches right here. We've got Darren Webster against Steve Lennon, Ian Wright against Max Hopp, Gerwyn Price against Joe Cullen, and Daryl Gurney against Steve West. Thank you so much for joining me again today, Joe.
Yeah, no problem.
I hope you're going to have all these amazing stats like you had yesterday. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no problem. I'll have loads here today, so
you've been doing your homework. It makes it easier for me. Guests like you are perfect, and welcome on Darts Planet TV anytime. So let's have a look first of all. The first game of the afternoon session is Darren Webster against Steve Lennon. Darren Webster up to number 14 in the world now at the age of 50, the highest he's ever been, against Steve Lennon. Won his tour card last year. What an amazing achievement to make the match play, because we know how difficult it is. What are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
Well, if it was on the floor, I'd say it was a really tight match, because Steve Lennon, for some that don't know, can hit a lot of 180s. Problem is he doesn't have enough deep runs. I think if he would have enough deep runs, he'd probably be in the top 10 on 180 stats. He had a fantastic debut here last year, making the qualifying for the Grand Slam and making the last 16, losing to MVG, and then qualifying for the World Championships, losing in round 1 to Michael Smith in a quality match. This year, his only best run has been on the European Tour, reaching the final, so losing to MVG.
Yeah.
Darren Webster in the last 2 years, I'd say, has been in the top, probably in the top 10 most consistent players on tour, reaching his first major TV semi-final, the Players' Championship finals, losing to MVG. I think he was 6-0 up in that match. And then last year he picked up his first PDC title in 12 years, defeating Daryl Gurney 6-1 in the Players' Championship 15 final in Barneveld, and then going on to a run to the quarterfinals of the World Matchplay. This year he's reached a career high, as you said, to the world number 14 by reaching two finals on the floor. I think with Webster's TV experience, he's going to edge this one 10-5.
I love Darren Webster. Yeah, I think that's a good call. He never gives up. He never knows when he's beaten. Like I say, playing the dance of his life. Steve Lennon, as you just said, an absolute quality player. But I think with Darren's experience, is definitely going to win. Well, I'm going for him to beat Steve Lennon 10-8. Next up, as you can see here, we've got Ian Diamond White against Max Hopp. Ian White has won a couple of Players' Championships already this year, playing really, really good darts, overlooked at times, but he's up against Max Hopp, who's won the German Darts Open. I think this is going to be a good game. What are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
Well, Max has actually got a better record against Ian White, which is surprising, really, because Ian White is one of the most consistent players, in my opinion, on the Pro Tour. Max Hopp hasn't had much TV experience in the last 2 years. His last ranking major was 2017 Worlds, which he lost in round 2 to Kim Ibrex, but it hasn't been good since then until in March this year, which he reached the quarterfinals of the German Darts Grand Prix, and that started disqualification for the match play, which he reached a quarterfinal a week later, and then picking up £25,000, as you said, to win the German Darts Open, which got him into the World Match Play.
Yeah, definitely.
Instead, he's not been consistent enough and not made a quarterfinal. Ian White, as we all know, is one of the most consistent players on tour. In my opinion, he's behind MVG, probably the most consistent player. He's probably the second most consistent player on the tour. He's won 9 Players' Championship titles in the last 5 years, including the 6-0 whitewash over MVG back in 2016. Yeah. With the help of Dark Connect this year, you can look at all the stats and how many 180s he's played of it and how many games he plays, leg percentage and all that sort of stats. Ian White's leading on 180s and 140s. He's been fantastic all year. Obviously winning 2 titles, defeating Dave Chisholm in March and Darren Webster recently in Barnsley. I think Ian White is the most overlooked player in world darts, most underrated, and I think this World Matchplay could be the chance now for Ian to try and push himself to maybe get picked for the Premier League and the World Series next year. I've gone for a 10-5 win for Ian White in this one.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I think Ian White, I think for so many of us, and I say it in so many different videos, unless you're a hardcore dart fan, have got all the PDC streams and watch all the floor tournaments and all the Euros and that, because Ian Wright never performs at his highest level on TV, a lot of the people that just watch all the big ones don't actually get to see Ian Wright's quality. He's been knocking on the door for some time now. He's going to have to come good sooner or later. I think when he do, he's going to go on to win a few majors, as you say. He's very consistent. He's a heavy scorer of the game. Max Hopp, I'm really pleased for him since winning the German Darts Open, and I think it's given him a confidence that he needed with all the pressure that he's had on him from Germany and different things. But I can't see Max Hopp having enough in this one, and I think that Ian Diamond White's going to beat him 10-7. Next up, as you can see here, we've got Gerwyn Price against Joe Cullen. Gerwyn Price, as we know, has struggled, had a terrible Premier League. You know, also struggling at the moment with an injury, which I think he picked up playing football. You know, with his Achilles, just waiting for an operation. Against Joe Cullen, so many people rate him high. But he loses too many games that he shouldn't have done. Just like in the Worlds at Christmas, ended up losing to Jermaine Watamina. He did get back into the game, but ended up losing it. He needs a big performance for me on telly, Joe Cullen, because I think, I'm not saying he's not going to win one, but he needs to win something or go very deep to a final or win something before long. What are your thoughts, Joe? You're going to have the stats. You're going to have the stats. Let us know.
I think this is arguably the most tightest first round match because Cullen is only 18 in the world, so he's on the verge of the top 16. Price is down at number 12 in the world, and even if he didn't have the injury, I'd still say this is still the tightest first round game.
Yeah.
Price obviously had a breakthrough year last year, reaching 2 major finals, reaching the UK Open and World Cup of Darts finals, and eventually got picked for the Premier League in Dubai, Shanghai, and Vegas. Semi-final in Dubai and Vegas and quarter-final in Shanghai. He was the last 16 in the world, narrowly losing to MVG. I thought it was a brilliant match, and that eventually got him picked for the Premier League, which didn't really go well for him. He picked up 2 points in the
He's not the same player, though. He's not the same player now, is he? That he was. Definitely not, even without the injury.
Yeah, I think even after he got relegated for the Premier League, I think there was something there. I think he beat Ronnie Baxter with 118 average or something like that. I think after he got relegated from the Premier League, but only reaching the final of the German Austrian Darts Open, has only been his best run since being relegated from the Premier League.
Yeah.
Cullen has obviously been has been really consistent over the last couple of years on the European Tour and on the Pro Tour, and I think this year he won 5 consecutive tournaments, reaching the final session on the European Tour. Last year he won 2 Pro Tour events, but his form this year hasn't been good enough, only reaching 2 quarterfinals and 22 floor events. Which is poor for a guy of his quality.
He just need to win a big one. He's got to win a big one at some point, Cullen, isn't he? He's got to go and deliver, do you think?
Yeah, I think because he's only reached one TV quarter-final now, back in 2016. Open, so I think he needs to start regularly making the latter stages of TV tournaments to be considered for the likes of the Premier League, because people were saying last year him, Daryl, Gurney and Gerwyn Price were potentially going to get picked for the Premier League, but only 2 of them got picked.
Yeah.
So Cullen's got to think now. You know, obviously he changed his haircut this year. Maybe, that may have been.
He's joining the trends of Rob Cross and MVG.
I think he hasn't really played well since he got that. He changed his haircut, so maybe that was the wrong decision for him. But I think this is one of the. This is going to be very close. But I'm going to go for a 10-8 win for Joe Cullen.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I just don't think that I'm not going off the subject too much here, but I just didn't see how they could put Joe Cullen in the Premier League when he's not going deep in TV tournaments, because the Premier League's a show and you've got to deliver. However, Gerwyn Price, I think, not playing his best. He's really struggling with his injury. So I am going to put Joe Cullen to win this one, the Rockstar, 10-7. Next up, as you can see here, the final game of the afternoon session is Daryl Gurney against Steve West. As we all know, Daryl Gurney won his first major last year, the Grand Prix. He's a new dad, life's looking rosy. I thought he did great in the Premier League. He missed out narrowly through having lots of draws that could easily have been wins. Here's against Steve West, who got to the quarter of the UK Open, and he got to the semis of the Gibraltar Darts Trophy. What are your thoughts on this one then, Joe? I'm loving the stats.
Well, obviously, Gurney had an unreal year last year, reaching the semi-finals of the UK Open World Matchplay, the European Championship, and then picking up the Grand Prix title, defeating Sam Whitlock 5-4 in the final. He also picked up his first Pro Tour title, defeating Kim Ibrix last year, I think, before he won the Grand Prix, and then reaching the final of the US Masters. Now we're losing to MVG 8-6. They're obviously got him picked for the Premier League, going to a career high 5 in the world.
Yeah.
This year hasn't been good enough for where he is in the rankings, despite finishing 5th in the Premier League and having an amazing game against Rob Cross in Belfast, to remember. Steve Webster over the last 2 years has gone from being a player that could have a run here and there to becoming a real contender for deep runs in TV events.
Yeah.
He obviously famously beat Tyler in the Grand Prix 2 years ago on the back of reaching his first ranking final. This year he has reached the quarterfinals of the UK Open and a semi-final one on the European Tour. And I got a stat from Wikipedia. His 180's frequency every throw is on the Pro Tour is 6%, so that shows that he's a high scorer. I'm going to go for a shock win for Steve West here. I'm going to go with 10-8.
Are you really? I think that West is a really, really good player, like you say as well. But there's something telling me that Gurney now is ready to do well in a TV run, and I think he's going to do really well in the match play. I think I'm going for Gurney to beat Steve West 10-8. So there we go, guys. So that is the afternoon session of the World Match Play. We then go into the evening session, as you can see here, which is live on Sky Sports from 7:30 p.m. The opening game for that one is Mensur Suljovic against Steve Beaton. We then go on to Gary Anderson against Stephen Bunting, Rob Cross against Mervyn King, and Raymond van Barneveld against Carl Anderson. But first of all, me and Joe are going to cover the opening match of the evening, which is Mensur Suljovic against Steve Beaton. Now, as we all know, Mensur Suljovic has won the German Darts Masters World Series. He's won the Danish Darts Masters. Absolute brilliant player. I love everything about him. I love what he stands for. But he's up against Steve Beaton. Now, this is a stat that is really surprising. Steve Beaton is actually 8-0 against Mensur Suljovic. Suljovic has never beaten him. What are your thoughts on the opening game for the evening, Joe?
Well, I think this is really tough because 2 years ago, Beaton reached the quarterfinals. And I think this is his 20th consecutive year as a non-seeded player. So that shows
it's crazy, isn't it?
I know, because I think he played Chris Mason in the 1998 World Match Play, and I think that was his debut apparently.
Yeah.
But Mensur in the last 2 or 3 years has gone from strength to strength, obviously reaching the final of the European Championships, defeating Tyler and Wright along the way, and then losing 11-1 to MVG. Before that, he won his first PDC title, picking up the Austrian International Darts Open title, but he declined a chance for a place in the 2017 Premier League. But 2017 was a huge year for Mensur.
Yeah, it was.
Picking up the Champions League of Darts title, defeating Gary Anderson on 2 occasions, then shortly after picking up his first Players' Championship title in Dublin, then obviously got picked for the Premier League, going to a career of 6 in the world. The Premier League didn't go well for Mensur, even though he had so many high 100-plus averages. He finished 9th, but since then he's really been in good form, picking up his 2nd TV title on the World Series in Germany in front of 20,000 people.
Yeah. And
then picking up, obviously, as you said there, his 2nd European Tour title, defeating Sam Wilk on the Danish Darts Open final. I think it's going to be a really close one, but I think Mensur's going to finally get a winner over Beaton. I'm going to go with 10-6 to Suljovic.
I think it's quite interesting, actually. Obviously, like Mensur Suljovic, the way he prepares himself, like he didn't even enter the UK Open because he was in the Premier League or around that time and preparing for it. It'd be interesting to see if Mensur Suljovic is, well, he will be picked for the Premier League next year, but I'm not sure that he I don't know what you think, how much he actually enjoyed the Premier League. What did you think on it?
I don't think he really enjoyed it because I think he should have played the UK Open qualifiers.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because I think when he started playing the Players' Championships, like he's been on and off. He's been like Barney, not playing enough Pro Tour. Last year he was constantly like making the last 16s courses of every Players' Championship event, whatever venue he was in.
Yeah.
But this year he's not been in enough Pro Tour events, and I think since he's been got from the Premier League, he's playing really well.
That's exactly what I think.
Pro Tour, but on the European
Tour.
It'd
be interesting to see what he do next year. I'm like you with this one. I think Suljovic is finally going to get his win against Steve Beaton, and he's going to win 10-7. Next up, we've got Gary Anderson against Stephen Bunting. One of the ties of the first round for me. Obviously, Gary Anderson, as we know, won the UK Open. Stephen Bunting's back in form. Give us some stats on this one, Joe.
Well, obviously, Gary is obviously it's going to be tough to beat in any tournaments, but he's never really done well at the match play, only reaching...
He don't like Blackpool, do he? I think he's come out and said it. He do not like Blackpool.
No, well, some players are like that, some players like it, some players don't.
That's most players' favourite, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but this year he's won 4 Pro Tour events. He obviously, as you said, he won the UK Open for the first time, defeating Corey Cabby, and then recently picking up the US Masters, certainly in Vegas. He doesn't put a lot of practice in, but he still turns up and still throws at least 100 average and moves through. But Stephen Bunting, though, I've noticed in the last 12 months, has put a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think he had I forget what it was, but he was going through a really bad time at home as well.
Yeah, he was. There was a lot going on outside darts, loads.
Obviously, a few years ago, like he had a fantastic first year and then got picked for the Premier League, and I think he did all right in the Premier League.
Yeah, he did.
His relegation. But I think if he's going to try and go somewhere, he's got to have a title somewhere to show that he is back in form. He's been really consistent, making a number of quarters and semi-finals, hitting a lot of 180s. But I think Gary Hansen's going to win this one. I think it's going to be close, but it's going to be 10-7 to Gary Hansen.
I'm with you on that one. I'm looking forward to this. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker. But I think that Anderson is going to turn up this year at the match play. And I think he's going to beat Stephen Bunting 10-8. I think if Anderson and Lewis both go through, I think they actually meet each other in round 2. So that could be really interesting. I'm sure, I could be wrong there, but I'm sure it's how it'll pan out. Next up, we've got Rob Cross against Merv King. Rob Cross, obviously world champ. He has won a Players' Championship recently. He's got to the finals of both the World Series that have recently been on telly. He's up against Mervyn King, who has finally gone over the line in a Players' Championship recently. I think it was his first win in something like about 5 years, wasn't it? Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years, was it? Tell us a little bit about what you think to this game.
Well, obviously, Cross had the best debut year the PDC's ever seen, in my opinion. Winning 4 Pro Tour titles and reaching the European Championship final. Eventually winning the Worlds on his debut, which is a fantastic achievement for a guy that 3 years ago was still an amateur. This year hasn't been as good because obviously he's had a lot of media work to do, and he probably didn't realise how much it does affect winning the World Championship. Recently, obviously, as you said, won his first title of 2018, defeating Ian White in the Players' Championship 13 final, and then narrowly the very next day losing to Peter Rice to make it back to back. Recently, as you said, made the back to back finals on the World Series to Anderson and Smith.
Yeah.
King is a very big practicer, as we know. He gets to the venues very early and prepares very well. And it was nice to see that he did win a title because obviously all that hard work.
Definitely. I think there's going to be a lot of sweat shed on the stage with these two, though, do you? That's hot in Blackpool.
Obviously, because they're both bald, aren't they? So there'll be a lot of sweat. So, but Mervyn King does have a decent record against Cross. He's leading 3-2, but the heat up there is it's going to be roasting this year.
It is.
The heat. But I think Cross is going to win this one. It's going to be close, but I'm going to go with 10-6.
Yeah, I'm very similar on this one. I think Cross is going to have too much for King. I know that King's gone on a diet. He's changed a few things about. We all know that he prepares better than any player. He'll probably be in the venue hours before he's going to go on stage. But he looks unfit to me. Let's hope that he can get through this one. I better be careful because I'm sure he's staying in the same hotel as what I am and I'm up in Blackpool. I don't want him to hear this and then ding me round the ear. But no, I'm like you on this one. I think Cross is going to have too much, and I'm going for a 10-7 win. The final game of the evening is Raymond van Barneveld against Carl Anderson. I cannot wait for this one. I'm looking forward to it. Barney ain't playing well at the moment. I'm wondering if we're seeing the decline of him and he's eventually going to go out of the game in the next few years, to be honest with you. We all know that there's been issues off the board over the last few weeks as well, with one thing and another. He's up against Carl Anderson. I love Carl Anderson. I think he's a great player. Won the Auckland Darts Masters last year. What are your thoughts on this one? Got some more stats for us, Joe?
Well, I think this is really tough, but both players haven't reached the level this year. Barney, obviously, he hasn't played since the World Cup because he had an incident with his house and he was raided.
Yeah.
I think he reached the final of the Masters this year, and I thought the Premier League hadn't started, and I thought this could be a big year for Barney.
Yeah.
But he played enough. You know, wasn't interested in the Premier League. Obviously, lost 7-0 to Michael Smith Even though Smith did play well, Barney didn't turn up at all. I think his head dropped after 3 or 4 rounds.
He's in big danger. He's in big danger with dropping out and money going over the next year or so as well.
Yeah, I think he's on the verge of dropping off the top 16.
He is, and yeah.
And he doesn't play enough Pro Tour events, so that's not going to get him in the likes of this match play.
Exactly.
The Grand Prix.
I hope it's not the demise of him, no, Joe. A great player, but you know, it's so frustrating because of the ability of the guy, and when he want to play, and when he gets up against MVG, you know, there's certain players that play up against MVG, but I write off before they even go on. Barney's one that I always think, you know, could beat him, and it's hard to see him playing as he is, isn't it?
I know, but he's just he said a few years ago he was going to play every tournament, and he doesn't. But what's good if he can't just play the World Cup, win it, and then just eventually just get in the Grand Slam because he's with MVG.
Yeah.
He's got to try and. But hopefully this year he got into the Grand Slam of winning the Masters. That's good for him.
Yeah.
Because I don't want him just playing the World Cup and getting into the Grand Slam.
Exactly.
Just winning the World Cup with MVG.
Yeah.
Anderson obviously had a breakthrough year last year, winning his first Pro Tour title, defeating Kevin Painter, and then a week later defeating Corey Cabby 11-10 in the Auckland Masters.
That was
final.
awesome, yeah, brilliant.
He missed 2 darts with double chance to reach the final of the European Championship, and in my opinion, if he would have hit that double, he would have been in the Premier League this year.
Yeah. I tipped him to be in the Premier League, if I'm being honest. I like him. I'm a huge fan of him. The dedication, you know, obviously with his family and moving over here. He had a lot of visa issues last year. I think he's a quality player. I think he's one for the future. He's a good character for darts. I think he's fantastic. I really do. Who are you going for in this one then?
I'm going to go with Kyle Anderson. It's going to be 10-7. I don't think it's not a shock to me because Barney's he doesn't seem bothered.
No.
And he's not bothered about. I don't think he'll put enough practice in.
No.
So I'm going to go with 10-7 Anderson.
Yeah, I'm like you. It wouldn't be a shock at all. I can't see Barney winning it. I'm going for Kyle Anderson to win this one 10-8. So there you go. So these are mine and Joe's predictions for day 2 at the Betvictor World Matchplay. Listen, Joe, thank you so much for coming on again on dartsplanet.tv and compiling all these stats. I really appreciate it. I know that the viewers that watch the channel will do too. So would you like to come on and do day 3? Saves me doing loads and loads of homework.
Yeah, no problem.
Fantastic. Well, listen, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please turn on your notifications. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in day 3 predictions World Matchplay. Bye.